Stephen, I was asking you the question a little earlier on about our inconsistencies in terms of our reaction to what's unfolding in Ukraine, given, of course, that we want to play a significant role on the international stage, particularly when it comes to human rights. And I asked you, do those two things square up?
Thanks, Bongani, and apologies for the bad line. I hope you can hear me now.
I can.
Okay, so yes, I mean, South Africa in the democratic era has long said that human rights will be the light that guides our foreign policy. On the particular Ukraine issue, we've flip-flopped. We were very quiet for a while. Then we said both sides must make peace. Then another statement said it's Russia's fault. Then the president walked that back and said it's the UN that needs to resolve this, and all parties must come to the table. And indeed, we are seeking a seat on the Human Rights Council, which sits in Geneva. We have been on it a couple of times before, and we're seeking a seat for next year. I wonder how closely the members of the council will look at South Africa's track record on human rights. It has already been endorsed by the African Union, so it's probably a done deal that we'll get the seat. But human rights is a fraught area, and a lot of it depends on whose perspective you're looking at, and there's a lot of suspicion and a lot of politicization in international human rights.
It would appear, I mean, you talk about Geneva, of course, that's where the current DIRCO minister, Naledi Pandor, was when it appears she was backtracking on that earlier statement demanding an immediate withdrawal by the Russians. It also appears that Minister Lindiwe Zulu is certainly the ANC's point person on this issue. She, of course, this is something not everyone knows, studied in Russia. She once told me she got her master's degree, which she got in Russian. So you can understand the historical links, the political links between South Africa and Russia. But is there any merit in the argument she posits that, look, this conflict has been building up for some time, what's happened in eastern Ukraine, the UN pretty much let that situation unfold without dealing with it, and that's why South Africa's position may seem to be a bit muted in certain eyes?
Well, there has been trouble in Ukraine since 2014, at least, when Russia invaded for the first time, then annexed Crimea that nobody recognized, and supported separatists in the two breakaway republics in the Donbas region on the east of Ukraine. And the UN indeed didn't really get involved. The Obama administration in 2014 didn't get involved. And that conflict has been rumbling on for all this time since 2014. Approximately 14,000 people were killed in that conflict. And that was the proximate cause that Vladimir Putin said he is sending in his, what he called a special operation to denazify Ukraine, which is absolutely ludicrous. It's not a Nazi state. It has a Jewish president. It has a Jewish prime minister. For whom over 60% of the country voted. So I don't think there's much, I don't put much behind the fact that this was building up for a long time. If it's about NATO and NATO being on Russia's borders, well, Norway is a member of NATO, and Norway has been on Russia's borders since 1949. So I don't think that argument holds much water.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.